In this screencast, we will be going through how to create a survey subtest in Tangerine. Starting off on the main assessments page, we can click on the assessment we would like to modify and click Edit. This brings us to the assessment builder where we can add a new subtest. Let's go to Type and choose the type of survey subtest we would like to choose. Let's start off with student information, as this is a survey subtest that most assessments will want to include. Hit Add, we can edit this subtest. So we can skip over enumerator help, student dialogue, and transition comment because this subtest is fairly self-explanatory. Let's start off by adding a couple of questions. So one potential question is, when do you attend school? All day, in the morning, or in the afternoon? We can call this shift. Next, we can include a question on what grade are you in? And we'll call this grade. Let's include another question on what year are you born? We'll call that year. Make sure to make the variable names as clear as possible, as that will be showing up that will be how this question is identified in the results file. And finally, let's include a question titled, what languages do you speak at home? We can call this home languages. Add. Now we will want to edit these questions to make sure they reflect the content that we would like to ask. So click Edit on the side. Here you have the choice to include skip logic, which is covered in the later screencasts, as well as custom validation and action on display. So the question type, we want this to be a single question type because you're selecting one option from a series of options. The other choices are multiple, which involves selecting multiple options from a list of choices, as well as open, which means there's just an open text space to insert whatever the answer is. So let's add the options. So the first option is all day in this case. We can call that 1. In the morning, we'll call that 2. So the value is how this will be identified on the results sheet. And then finally, in the afternoon, which we'll call 3. Now we hit Done to save the question. We can move on to the next question. What grade are you in? So we can hit Edit here. Again, we'll skip over this portion and we'll make several options. So we can do first, and of course this depends on the range of students that will be participating in this assessment. Usually it's helpful to have this be a series of answer choices as opposed to open to make it as simple as possible. But again, if it does go over a very large range of years, it may be easier to simply have an open answer choice. So we're done to save again. Now we can modify the next question, which is what year are you born? So this is kind of a similar situation to the previous one. If you have a number of students that are ranging very much varying in age, it makes sense to have this as an open question. So we'll leave it at that. But if it's only students within a short range of age, you could have choices like 2002, 2003, 2004, or something along those lines. Finally, we have the question, what languages do you speak at home? And for this one, we would like to make it multiple because it could be 1 or it could be a number of different options. So we can say French, we'll call that 1, English, which we'll call 2, and Spanish, which we will call 3. So now we're done with this, and we have finished up our survey. So let's go back and run, or we'll need to move that to the top. We can move this to the top of the list to make sure it comes up first. Then let's go back and run this actual assessment to make sure we did everything correct. So when do you attend school? All day, in the morning, or in the afternoon? Choose all day. What grade are you in? First, second, third. Third, what year are you born? 2002. What languages do you speak? So in this case, we can select 2 or 3 or any number of options.